My name is Lily Philhauer. I will be reading Giraffes Can't Dance by Giles Andre. I will be focusing on the second grade standard of how characters respond to major events and challenges. And I'll be focusing on the strategy of comprehension. Giraffes can't dance. So friends, from our front cover, what information do we gain that we can guess what our story might be about? A giraffe, definitely. And dancing, you're right. So let's read what happens with our friend Gerald the giraffe. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees. But when he tried to run around, he buckled at his knees. Now, every year in Africa, they hold a jungle dance where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. This year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad because when it came to dancing, he was really, really bad. So friends, how is Gerald feeling right now? He's definitely sad. What else? Worried? Yeah, definitely. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked toward the floor. But the lions saw him coming and they began to roar. Hey, look at clumsy Gerald, the animals all sneered. Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool. Oh, Gerald, you're so weird. Are the animals being polite right now? How are they treating Gerald? They're definitely being a little rude, aren't they? And how do you think this is making Gerald feel? He is a little sad, right? No one likes to be made fun of. Gerald simply froze up. He rooted at the spot. They're right, he thought. I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot. So he crept off the dance floor and he started walking home. He never felt so sad before, so sad and so alone. So we know that Gerald is feeling really sad right now. And none of us like to feel sad, do we? No. Then he found a little clearing and he looked up at the sky. The moon can be so beautiful, he whispered with a sigh. Excuse me, coughed the cricket, who'd seen Gerald earlier on. But sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song. Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. Tell me the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that the lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying, and his tail was swishing round. How is Gerald feeling now? Excited? Energetic? Definitely. I'm sure he's starting to feel a little warm and happy too, right? He threw his arms out sideways and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leaped in the air. We can definitely tell now that Gerald is super excited and happy and blissful, and he's so excited that he's what? Dancing. Gerald felt so wonderful. His mouth opened wide. I'm dancing, I'm dancing, I'm dancing, Gerald cried. Then, one by one, each animal who'd been there at the dance, arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream! Gerald's the best dancer that we have ever seen." "How did you learn to dance like that? Please just tell us how." But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with the bow. Now how are the animals treating him? They're definitely excited and clapping for them and cheering for him. Are they the same as what they were before? Definitely not. They're not being rude. They're really polite now, and they're being really energetic and supporting Gerald. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. We all can dance when we find the music that we love. So my friend, how did Gerald feel at the beginning? He was sad, right? And lonely. He didn't feel very good about himself. And was he being treated nicely by the other animals? Definitely not. But what about at the end, after the cricket helped him? How did he feel then? He was excited and happy. Definitely. And how did the animals then treat him? They were polite and supported, and they definitely cheered him on, right? So it's important when we're reading our stories to understand how the character feels and how he reacts to the different challenges or events in the story, right? Because this will definitely help us not only know the characters, but the story itself.